Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Tokyo Necro. So it has been about a couple of weeks since I last recorded the game. I just finished off recording an update video for people on YouTube and Patreon. But TLDR, for people that, you know, don't really watch update videos and stuff like that. Basically, I was really unsatisfied with the videos that I've been putting out. So basically, like, the quality of the videos that I put out feels like they're a bit rushed because I've been recording them, or recording more than one video a day, which is why, like, the current schedule is gonna be me recording once a day for the weekdays for people on Patreon, and the people on YouTube, they're still gonna be, like, getting the videos, like, the same as usual, like 3 videos a week for the new videos, and then 3 for the uploads that haven't been uploaded yet. And then for Tokyo Necro here, it's still gonna be once a week. But yeah, a lot of stuff in my life, I've been kind of like felt mediocre lately, so that's why I haven't really been satisfied with the stuff in my life. At least that's my rationale after introspecting. I'm not sure if that's the only reason. There might be something else, but I feel like this is something that I pinpointed out by myself after I did some introspection. So hopefully I can, you know, like, get back to where I was. And yeah, without further ado, let's actually try to remember what the hell is actually going on in this game, because I haven't played this game in about 3 weeks. I still remember we were in the middle of... damn it, the name of the girl escapes me. Mitsumi, I believe? We were in the middle of Mitsumi's route. Actually, probably the last bit of... You know, the last bit of her route left. Yeah, the 2nd of May. Right now, it's the 26th, by the way. So it's been more than 3 weeks. I still remember bits and pieces of what happened. I believe we're trying to confront Milgram, and we're outside of the... or inside right now. Inside of the Tokyo Metropolitan Building or something like that. So this is Ikatsu. And we are... Right, Ikatsu is fighting Ethica and her dad, I believe. Did he really just stop my chainsaw with his bare hands? But yeah, part of the reason why I'm not really recording as much videos now is also because I feel like I get a bit antsy, right? When I record multiple videos at once, I run out of things to say, and I hate that. I usually have some stuff to say, or at least, you know, I would explain my rationale about what the hell is going on in a specific scene. But because I've been playing or recording multiple videos a day, I sometimes skip that because I just want to play the game. But yeah. Let's continue on. After tossing my old man aside like a ragdoll, Ikatsu traps the blade of my rabbit punch between his enormous palms. I swung down with enough force for the blade to eat into his hand, but since he's a living dead, Ikatsu doesn't seem to particularly mind. He sends me flying back with a fierce headbutt. The hell? That felt like getting hit by a truck. Before the searing... Yeah, see? I was saying this a couple of, like, weeks ago, but they actually don't have a 3D model of him with the Sagittarius or Centaur body. He still have 2 legs, right? Even though at this point, it doesn't make sense that he have 2 legs. He should have like 4 legs. Before the searing pain or even the need for increased caution, what flashes through my mind first is a strange feeling of mixed dread and awe. Like I've just realized I'm dealing with a being who's no longer human. Which is odd, seeing how my feelings should have mostly been eroded by now. Shit, this is no time to be daydreaming. The high-pitched roar of Rabbit Punch is what ends up saving my hide from certain death. My old man snatches up my chainsaw and slices Katsu's right arm clean off. I actually really do miss Let's Playing though. It's been 3 weeks and I feel like I have way more free time than I could even do anything with it. So it's good to be back, that's for sure. But that's all he does. The pain would have been unbearable for a human, but a living dead won't even bat an eye at something like this. And top it off, he's Kara Suzumi Katsu of all people. The old man hands me back my Rabbit Punch. Did I feel a sense of pride wash over me? My old self probably would have. The old man trained me relentlessly in CQAMA since I was little. The weapons we used back then were re-eliminators. Those 2 spiked guns are my old man's pride and joy, a symbol of his life's work. Rabbit Punch was one of the first things I got my hands on after running away from home. It's a symbol of my freedom, of my rebellion against the old man. A fine weapon, he says. Hell yeah, it is. I dash into battle, right behind the old man. We may be up against the one and only Kara Suzumi Katsu, but he's on his own. Plus, he's lost his arm, and he's a living dead. With only one arm left, he's now relying primarily on kicks to fight, and he's doing a reasonably good job of it too. But we still maintain the upper hand. At the end of the day, Dad's the one who taught me everything I know about CQAMA. Different weapons or not, our synergy on the battlefield should be top-notch. I sync up a left kick with his right punch. I answer the howl of his guns with the roar of my chainsaw. Our tight, instinctively performed combination of attacks ends up reminding me of the days we used to train together. Now that I think about it, he drilled all the basics into me right here, didn't he? Huh. I see. As I swing my Rabbit Punch to deliver another attack, I suddenly realize something. This blade was a symbol of my rebellion. It carried a strong message that I wanted him to return to being the father he used to be, so we could once again fight shoulder to shoulder. When my old man changed, I couldn't bring myself to forgive him. I used to look up to him. I wanted to be like him when I got older. I think I probably loved him. I just couldn't admit it. But it's all too late now. Ikatsu immediately moves in to punish me for my brief moment of hesitation. I eat his fist and Rabbit Punch gets hurled off into the distance. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the story while actually reading the narrative right now. Forgot that right now, Etika is a living dead. I'm pretty sure that also broke a bone in my right arm. I can feel it sticking through my skin, but hey, no big deal. I'm already dead, remember? So what's a broken bone or two? The old man seems more worried about it than I am, though. He attempts to run up to me, but immediately gets a kick in his face. Ikatsu charges at him as he staggers, using the whole of his weight to trample him. His leg twists into a gruesomely unnatural angle. He fires off a couple shots from his real eliminators, but the bullets get absorbed by Ikatsu's bulging muscles. I've got no time to go get Rabbit Punch. So instead, I unleash the ultra-magnetic whip embedded in my left arm as a last resort. Its blade, made of ultra-high purity steel, coils around Ikatsu's arm, eating into his flesh. He knows not to forcefully pull on the whip. Instead, he inches closer to me in order to loosen his grip. He then turns his back on us and flees. I know I should chase after him, but I end up pausing for a moment. My X-brain's not offering any suggestions. It's dead silent. In fact, it's been that way for a while now. It finally clicks. An X-brain is used to expand one's subconscious. It picks up on the brain's activity, then processes information from the user's subconscious in order to offer its suggestions. In other words, my brain activity has weakened to the point where it can no longer even do that. Really? Did that ever happen to someone in the other route? I actually don't know. Guess it's finally time to put this bad boy to use. I guess in Ethica's route, we don't really see Son use his X-Brain much. Or at least, he still, like, wears it and stuff, but... Not sure if it actually shows any icons and stuff like that. And on the other route, his X-Brain was actually, you know, like, embedded into his brain. I attempt to make my way down a nearby slope to chase after Ikatsu. Before I leave, though, my old man stops me. I see. This is gonna be the last time I get to talk to him. He's probably come to the same conclusion.
エチカ聞いてくれ。私は過去に過ちを犯した。私はどうしてお前を産ませてしまったのか。
あんたを生かすためだよ。
Man, should you really be saying that to Ethica? That's sad. My answer is quick and immediate. I know he's looking for salvation. And it's probably got something to do with the secret behind my birth. As well as the rest of that sentence he spoke once. But it's not my place to hear him out. The only person who had that right died long ago. And so, my old man will never be forgiven. He must live on, carrying his conviction and his sins.
エチカ。
止めないでくれよ。約束しただろ。
エチカ。
What was the promise? I make my way down the hill without bothering to look back. He's my necromancer. He could easily force me to obey him. Even now, he could still make me turn back. But I know he'll never do that. He'll keep his promise and allow me to die while I'm still human. I'm so surprised Ikatsu is living this long. Being a necromancer capable of receiving information from his undead minions, Milgram should be well aware that we're on our way down to the basement. Our footsteps reverberate in the silence as we head down the staircase. It's getting progressively colder too. Even the walls are covered in ice down here. Ooh, that actually probably got picked up by the mic. I was cracking my head. Upon reaching the bottommost floor, we come into a cave-like area. I think that's supposed to be there. With its walls completely covered in a transparent veil of ice. Several imposing icicles, thicker than a man's arm, jut from the floor like stalagmites. It looks almost like an ice cave that formed during a glacial period. A silent altar of death, where nothing ever moves and not a sound is to be heard. A dark silhouette stands alone in the middle of the room.
来たか。
ミルグラム。
This guy is probably going to be the main antagonist in Iria's route too, probably. Mitsumi has dedicated herself to avenging Gijo Sumihiko, her ill-fated brother turned undead. Her quest for vengeance has completely consumed her. And unless she defeats Milgram, she will never be able to move on toward a better, brighter tomorrow. Mitsumi readies Soshimaru. The tip of its blade is imbued with a seething indignation that seeps from every pore of her body. Surrounded by the desolate gloom of the basement, her ultrasonic vibroblade burns a bright hue of crimson.
兄の仇、取らせてもらう。
残念だが、私は殺せない。
Mitsumi charges at Milgram head-on, ready to burn him in the volcanic fires of her wrath. I promptly follow suit. Urged on by Mitsumi's whirlwind-like charge, I too hurl myself at the enemy. Milgram's movements are refined and graceful. He assumes a relaxed stance with his two side pistols and carefully aims for his foe's vitals. Yet Mitsumi is not one to recoil when faced with gunfire. She becomes the very avatar of her conviction, evading the bullets with otherworldly agility before finally closing in on Milgram. Her blade, like the inevitable judgment of the heavens, strikes at its foe to exact vengeance. Did she miss? Impossible. Bakana. Freaking anime. Soshimaru's blade slices through empty air. I provide swift backup fire with my real eliminators, but I fare no better than her. My bullets whiz through the air without finding their mark. A series of dull thuds ring out as impacts rack my body. I realize I've just been shot from behind. Not even my X-brain reacts. The first thing I feel is neither pain nor panic, but incredulity. What is that? How come Milgram is behind me? I guess confusion. This question, however, is immediately blown into oblivion by yet another fierce strike to my back. Milgram changes locations in the blink of an eye. And even Mitsumi's superhuman reaction speed proves insufficient to keep up with him. A fresh volley of gunshots sends Mitsumi tumbling to the icy floor. What the? It's like he has Shinkaido. Is that what you say? Instant transmission? Shinkaido? I actually don't remember. I think in Bleach it was Shinpo or something. He's obscenely... Yeah, it's like he's teleporting, man. Milgram's fist is upon me before I can even finish that thought. Though overwhelmed by his inhumanly swift movements that seem to distort the very air around them, I still manage to block the tip of his incoming side pistol with my muzzle spikes. A second later, I lose my balance and receive a hefty elbow strike to my chest that sends me flying backwards across the slippery ice. As I slip backwards, Milgram is already behind me, waiting to launch another attack. How is this possible? He's not this strong before. Like, what the hell is going on? I guess he's not pulling any punches now. He lands another punch, causing me to crash helplessly into the ground. His strength is unbelievable. We're going to need something unconventional to defeat him. Something new and unprecedented. I instinctively throw a glance in Mitsumi's direction. Mitsumi too gives me a meaningful look. I remember the courage she filled me with during that battle against the tank-class living dead. As well as the joy I felt as we shared the dance floor together. That dance floor scene was one of the weirdest things ever, man. It felt like it was very forced. I still remember it. But I just feel like the whole Mitsumi and Soen being together thing is not as organic as Iria. I'll place my faith in those feelings and trust that they'll help guide me. I struggled to my feet and once again face Milgram. His counterattacks are certainly swift as lightning. He reacts to each and every one of my attempts at subduing him with a terrifying level of precision, before immediately going on the offensive himself. Acting with the monstrous speed I've come to expect from him, he once again drives me into a corner. However, we're only just getting started, and I'm not alone in this fight. Back at the Ikebukuro CPC, Milgram's side pistols failed to withstand Mitsumi's attack. So instead of taking Soshimaru head-on, Milgram opts to dodge its blade instead. He is no ghost or hallucination. He's flesh and blood like us. It's just that his movements are exceeding our expectations. But Mitsumi is always there in my time of need, and I'm there for her when she needs me. She uses her sharp mind to keenly predict and repel her foes' attacks. I do the same with my lightning-fast reactions. Bullets fly and weapons clash in this battlefield carved from ice. We make up for each other's shortcomings, allowing our partner to fight to their fullest potential. Milgram might be moving fast enough to make it seem like there are two of him, but there really are two of us. Okay. As long as we work together... That's wishful thinking, Son. Milgram strikes Mitsumi in the knee with his side pistol, tackles me as I move in to assist her, then delivers a powerful roundhouse kick to her jaw. It all happens in an instant. Mitsumi and I are sent flying in opposite directions. Milgram fires his side pistols at us while we're still writhing on the ground. I managed to evade a handful of his shots by rolling across the icy floor, but end up crashing into a nearby icicle as a result. Even through my bulletproof vest, the pain is sharp and relentless. Mitsumi too is being targeted while she's still on the floor. Not yet. We can still do this. That was just bad luck on our part. What was that? What was that CG there? I don't think someone was using anything that sharp. I fire off a fresh volley of bullets. With this many shots, at least one of them should be able to hit. I pulled the trigger out of sheer reflex. What just happened? Did I miss an alert from my X-Brain? I'm gradually losing my composure. My heart is gripped by a mixture of fear, trepidation, and uneasiness. When I team up with Mitsumi, we don't merely add our strength together. Our combined efforts can easily triple or quadruple our overall effectiveness in combat. We're both well aware of this. So the answer is quite simple. Even with our expert synergy, Milgram still comes out on top. Is that even possible? How are we supposed to defeat someone like that? My mind wanders back to that fateful moment. Having lost all restraint, Mitsumi blindly launches herself at Milgram. Thankfully, I managed to block her advance just in time. I was driven solely by my instinct to protect her. What I see reflected in her eyes is fear. I'm not the only one scared of Milgram. The moment I come to that realization, my heart regains its prior composure. And it cements in my mind the resolve that I need to pick the optimal course of action to save her.
僕が前に行く。
何を言う？ここは二人で。
いや、
I don't allow myself to be dissuaded.
ここは僕だ。
I sense a tinge of an indecision in her. Under usual circumstances, Mitsumi would have likely insisted to join me, asserting her fundamental right to partake in the battle. However, our relationship's no longer what it used to be. We're joined by a far stronger bond now.
わかった。
Mitsumi makes a slow, measured nod, then allows me to take the front. As Milgram watches us in silence, I ready myself to take him on using my close quarters arm martial arts. The twin re-eliminators with their trusty muzzle spikes, as well as the X-Brain helmet, these are the supporting pillars that make CQAMA possible. My X-Brain has yet to fully analyze and dissect the extent of Milgram's combat potential. I close the distance between us with well-practiced steps, moving one's body in a way that statistically minimizes the chance for the enemy to land a counterattack is an important cornerstone of successful CQAMA. Milgram does, of course, adapt to that. He ducks down and attempts to stab his side pistol into my body with nigh impossible timing. No matter how diligently one trains their body, there will always be a slight gap between registering their X-Brain's alert and acting upon its instructions. Milgram delivers a light blow to my abdomen. As I endure the searing pain, my lips curl into a content smile beneath my helmet. I may not have been able to evade Milgram's blow, but the alerts predicting his attacks have begun to pop up slightly faster than before. To analyze the opponent and immediately draw up a counter-strategy, the core principle behind close quarters arm martial arts, and what makes the X-Brain what it is. If I can keep going like this, I have a chance to...
私の力がこの程度だと。
His words leave his lips at the exact same moment the punch arrives. There's no time for my X-Brain to process anything. I slide across the icy floor as his blow crashes into me. He's not done yet. Another punch comes flying at me like a bullet. It's even faster than the one that preceded it. An alert flashes before my eyes, but I'm too slow. I'm taken to my feet. Milgram levels his side pistols at me.
とどめ。
Mitsumi charges in from behind, saving my skin. Milgram halts his attack a split second before it lands. I immediately go after him. My feet are light. My steps are quick. There's no need to think about delivering a counterattack. All I have to do is collect data, so I can evolve my technique mid-fight. Man, the more I think about it, the more broken these X-Brains are. Like, what the fuck? To eventually find out one attack that will get through his impenetrable guard. That's what CQAMA is for. Can you, like, imagine if Milgram actually has an X-Brain? Our fierce struggle causes several nearby icicles to shatter. Milgram flies across the battlefield in his anti-armor suit, almost as if to defy the very laws of physics. He charges at me in rapid succession, throwing one potentially fatal blow after another. Every time I'm in danger, Mitsumi comes to my aid with impeccable timing. I've lost count of the number of times her keen instincts have pulled me back from the jaws of certain death. The wounds covering my body multiply at a worrying rate. Every single muscle in me cries out in pain. But in spite of all that, the speed of my reactions continues to accelerate. Milgram too grows faster, but the difference between us has begun to shrink. The more data I accumulate, the faster my reactions become. You know, this is one of those... This is one of those times where I shouldn't be talking, but this is one of the reasons why I also like I said, not recording as many videos as I do, because this makes me able to point out the fact that this doesn't make sense. Someone should actually be, you know, lowering his stamina right throughout the fight, and instead his reactions keep getting stronger. It doesn't make sense technically. Even though he has the data, there's no way he'd have the endurance to be able to do this, but let's just say he has plot armor right now. No matter how many blows I receive, I stand my ground. My faith in CQAMA is what keeps me going. Just a little longer. I just need to hold out a little longer. Milgram's fist crashes into the arms I've raised in defense, pushing me back. I end up eating his punch head-on. My body gets hurled through the air, accompanied by a sickening sound. Did my arms just crack? As I attempt to confirm it via my X-Brain, what flashes through my eyes is the icon indicating the presence of a living dead. Like a lone tear rolling down a person's cheeks, a rivulet of dark liquid trickles forth from beneath Milgram's anti-armor suit. It's entirely too dark to be the blood of a living person. And that can only mean one thing. When the Empire Energy Corps railguns hit, Milgram sank to the bottom of Tokyo Bay along with his amphibious assault ship. Considering the sheer weight of his reinforced endoskeleton, there's no way he could have swam back up to the surface, or survived the freezing depths of the ocean floor. So he was reanimated as a living dead. Who's the necromancer then? I mean, it doesn't surprise me at this point. I was actually like contemplating whether he was even alive to begin with at the start, but I guess he was. I'm aware of how much of a physical burden that anti-armor suit places on the wearer. Milgram's body under that thing must be in an awful shape, considering how intensely we've been fighting. But to a living dead, that means precious little. Precious little? That means precious little? That's a word? What the? I mean, I understand what its meaning is, but that doesn't feel like it makes sense. As long as the brain is kept safe, the body can be pushed to its absolute limits. Hence its literally inhuman speed.
そうか。そういうことか。貴様にしてはずさんな計画だと思ったが、時間がなかったのだな。
No matter how pressured Milgram might have been by the impeding completion of the Tokyo Rebirth project, His plan to attack the city was rash and needlessly violent, almost like it came from an entirely different person.
ネクロマンシーと術者の感情には深いつながりがある。感情が劣化する前に決着をつけねばならなかったのだろう。
さすがは議場三見。感情の劣化には詳しいな。
But who's his necromancer? That's the question right now. Is it Olga? A light tremble... Oh. You done, Mitsumi? That was a very long, what do you call that? Not whisper. Not really a grunt, too. Not really sure what to call what she was doing there. A light tremble runs down the blade of Sushimaru.
最初に言っただろう。お前に私は殺せない。できるのはただ再殺することだけだ。
I mean, I guess that's true.
お前の兄のようにな。貴様！
いいんだ、ソウ。
My passion erupt, but Mitsumi's voice soothes them.
相手の魔法の種は明かされた。お主にはその魔法を封じる術がある。
I slide a hand into my inner pocket and feel for the lone bullet inside.
スカベンジャーか。
Milgram knows all too well what I'm planning. The scavenger bacteria is capable of devouring dead flesh. But since it takes time to cultivate it, I could only requisition a single bullet. I can load it into the chamber of my gun whenever I please. If the liquid inside so much as splashes against his skin, the bacteria will immediately begin to consume his flesh. He could also do what Ikatsu did though, right? Which was just cut off his right arm. So you have one shot to actually get his brain soon. There's only one problem.
私に当てられるとでも？
In his anti-armor suit, Milgram boasts speed that far exceeds the realm of ordinary humans. During the entirety of our fight, I couldn't land a single shot on him. I'm also barely hanging in there. My body is covered in wounds from head to toe. Will I really be able to do this, being as worn down as I am? We only have one chance. One little shot at this. A chill runs down my spine. For a brief moment, I even consider buying more time. The bullets shot by Tokitaka were scavengers made by the Empire Energy Corp. The SAD likely has some more reserves to spare. If it comes down to it, I could potentially draw Milgram outside and...
ソウ。お主は役目を果たした。
Mitsumi's eyes burn with determination. Typo there.
だから次は私の出番だ。この男のとどめは私が刺す。
She's placed her full trust in me. I've placed my full trust in her. So I have no problem handing our one scavenger bullet to Mitsumi. What are you doing? You cut it? She flicks the bullet into the air and slices it clean in half with Sushimaru. Oh, okay, so it's gonna coat the blade, okay. The liquid contained within the ampule? How do you say that? Ampule, I guess. Is now coating her blade. Back on the ship, when I pushed that bullet into Ikatsu's body, it consumed his whole arm. Mitsumi's trying to pull off the exact same thing against Milgram using Sushimaru. She assumes the Hasso stance. Her ultrasonic vibro katana burns silently with the scathing flames of her vengeance. What is the Hasso stance? Though I know, like, you know, the Hasso Tobi move from Persona by Yoshitsune, right? Though I don't know what stance it is. Its blade carries the condensed essence of all that she is. Her determination, her fate, her very future. Milgram's gaze does not stray. Switching his side pistols to a reverse grip, He meets the eyes of his toe head-on. Dusky red blood continues to seep through the cracks in his anti-armor suit. The freezing air around us seems to cool even further. Mitsumi widens her stance ever so slightly. Milgram answers in kind. Two unparalleled experts of combat are now poised to clash. Will Mitsumi's keen instincts topple the armor-clad Milgram? It's impossible to tell. And so I pray that Mitsumi, who's devoted everything to fulfilling her quest of vengeance against Milgram, who's lived a life shackled by the yoke of her undead brother Sumihiko, will be able to guide her steel to sever the past once and for all, for the sake of her future. Her resounding cry pierces the very air itself. Milgram gracefully dodges out of the way, granting him the upper hand. Yet Mitsumi's eyes are clear as a spring lake. Her mind's already several steps ahead. She's predicted all this, including Milgram's swift, evasive maneuvers. She lowers her waist and pours all her strength into the next swing. The blade misses, albeit just barely. They really want to make this like as epic as hell, don't they? A moment later, Milgram spins around and buries both his side pistols in Mitsumi's back. Their sharp blades sink deep into her flank, and then comes the first shot, and the second, and a third. Time itself seems to freeze to a halt. For the very first time since I've known her, Mitsumi's snow-white bodysuit is smeared deep crimson with blood. I immediately dart forward and unload bullets after bullet from my re-eliminators. Not even my X-Brain attempts to stop me. Milgram breaks my left arm. And then my right. My twin re-eliminators fall onto the ground. A pathetic display. Truly and utterly pathetic. I yearn for a sweet release of death. A wish that will no doubt soon be granted.
終わりだ。
まただ。
Mitsumi's voice pulls me back from the brink. Battered and coughing up blood with every word uttered, she clings onto Soshimaru while crawling on the ground. She hasn't given up yet.
無様な。これ以上無駄にあがくか。
I mean, might as well when you're almost dead.
まだ。もう少しで。効果が現れる。
もう少し。
Milgram coughs up a dark, inky substance. You good, Milgram?
まさか。
What did she do? I actually don't know what she did. What spills onto the ground is a blotch of dead, gooey flesh, dissolved by the scavenger.
小シマルを甘く見たな。
I guess the vibration, you know, made it that the coating went into his face even though it didn't hit him directly. My X-Brain provides an explanation. Soshimaru is an ultrasonic vibro katana. Milgram may have evaded Mitsumi's swing by a hair's breadth, but the blade continued to vibrate. Okay. And the scavenger it was coated in ended up spraying onto his skin. Oh, sorry about that, Milgram. Unable to support his own weight, Milgram falls to his knees. A mixture of dusky red flesh and blood continues to seep forth from between the joints of his anti-armor suit.
終わらせてたるものか。これからが本当の本当の
His words are cut short by Mitsumi's blade as it pierces his body from behind.
やったやったぞ。
What should have happened instead of him spraying out blood, though, was that his whole head which should have been liquefied. But I guess they wanted this to be a lot more dramatic for his death. I move to catch her body as it's about to crumple into the ground. Her eyes, however, are already closed. My hands are smeared with the red of her blood. Mitsumi's very life is slowly, but surely ebbing away in my arms. The beating of her heart grows fainter and fainter. She's finally managed to free herself from the shackles of the past and earned the right to keep moving toward the future. I can't allow myself to lose her now. I hold her tight with my two broken arms, trying desperately to keep her life from slipping away. I guess now it's the finale for Ethica.
来たな、イチカ。
This is probably gonna be a double kill, I feel. Ikatsu's at the Shinobazu pawn. He had plenty of time to escape. He could have also easily killed my old man if ordered. Which leads me to believe Milgram might already be dead, and that Ikatsu stayed behind purely out of his own free will.
一括さん、最後に一つ聞かせてくれ。私を拾ったのは親父に頼まれたからか。
さて、昔のことは忘れちまったな。
He flashes a grin, a final show of his fading humanity. I unleash the whip from my left arm and lock it into a spear-like shape. It's not my old partner, Rabbit Punch. It's the ultra-magnetic whip I stole from that bald bastard. Undeniable proof that I'm a living dead.
決着をつけるが。
You're a bit too close. I thought you guys were gonna face off, you know, a lot further than this.
望むところだ。
He is fucking huge, though. He's at least like 15 centimeters, like, taller, I think. We stand face to face. Man, CQ AMA versus CQ AMA, I guess. And start immediately pummeling each other. His fist makes a dent in my skull. My blade pierces his cheekbones. Neither of us cries out in pain. There's no more left to feel. We simply deliver one attack after another. We focus our minds on one thing, and one thing only, bringing the other down. It kind of feels weird that he's kind of swinging his right arm even though he doesn't have one. We both hate overly complex shit. Nor are we the type to go running in with our tails between our legs. I mean, we've got these sturdy undead bodies, you know? So we might as well make full use of him. Really go all out. Until there's nothing left of us. I have no intention of living through this anyway. We're pretty much just assisting each other's suicide at this point. I don't even mind if it ends that way, honestly. And I'm sure Ikatsu feels the same. As his former pupil, I can tell that much. We land blow after blow after blow. We trade punches and stagger back and forth as our heads get crushed in. But we don't stop. Not for 1 second. The ending for the people that become undead really is like unhappy, huh? Or like, you know, it's kind of a bad end. When Son was the only undead too, it was also pretty sad. Though when they're both undead, it's actually not bad, right? They both died, of course, but everyone else didn't. I drill my clenched fist into Ikatsu. He sends me flying with a counter, but I no longer care. I saw the ampoule shatter into pieces after I jammed it into his face. The ampoule filled with scavenger that I got from Iria. I mean, if it shattered, wouldn't it also go to your arm and then you're also gonna die? Ikatsu collapses to the ground. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, she did say this was basically a double suicide at this point. A crow flies off and vanishes into the dark of the night sky. Having lost all strength to move, I simply lie on the ground facing the ceiling. Ikatsu's likely in the same position, though I have no way of confirming it. We took each other down fair and square. Couldn't have asked for a better conclusion. My body's gradually being consumed. The bacteria's begun to work its way through my flesh, starting with my right arm. In other words, I've got a total of 15 seconds left to live. And then it's lights out. I'm ready for it though. At least I thought I was. But then why is my vision getting blurry? I should have no lingering regrets. Oh, I think I know. Because the Conry in my left hand is buzzing. Is it Kiri? It's a call from Kiri. I want to talk to her. But I know I can't. Should have called her earlier. And that right there is my one small regret. But even that will soon melt away. Oh, I just remembered. This is where I met Kiri for the last time. We laid down in the grass together and gazed up at the sky while holding hands. She was so warm. I wanted that moment to last forever. I really did. I wanted it to go on and on and on. You know, I feel like playing this game and seeing like the deaths of so many characters probably also like made me reconsider like my own way of living at some point. So I feel like this game probably affects me too to some degree, which was also the reason why I was feeling a bit weird the past couple of weeks. I was really unsure whether I was living like my life to the fullest or not. Pavlov looks up at the sky. Alright, this guy's still alive. White smoke billows up and merges with the snow, only to eventually melt into the clouds that drift above Tokyo. Beyond their veil, in the far distance, are the glittering stars that he now gazes at. Wait, Olga is dead in this timeline, huh? I guess it could only be Pavlov that was, you know, making them undead. A sigh escapes his lips. It was he who stole that Cetus and piloted it to the bottom of the ocean to recover Milgram's corpse. It was he who brought him back to life with necromancy. As such, he could acutely sense the moment when Milgram was finally re-eliminated.
安らかに眠られますように。意志は自分が必ず。
Pavlov remains calm and composed. He anticipated all this. The members of the Kara Suzumi Living Dead Stalker Agency are veterans of their field. He knew that once the Living Dead flooded the streets and Milgram's involvement became clear, they would discover the truth by themselves. So is Son gonna do what his dad did and, like, turn Mitsumi into a living dead? The information broker Kansu is an expert of data analysis. I'm kinda expecting it in this ending. He knew that she would request Hagio Iria's assistance to gain access to the Empire Energy Corps' network, so that she could locate Milgram via satellite. Milgram was merely the bait to allow Pavlov to infiltrate the Tokyo Megafloat. With their master slain, the hordes of living dead Milgram spent years accumulating will soon disperse. The gas poisoner's actions may affect the outcome, but in the end, it's only a matter of time until the military police bring the city under control. Okay, this is Ikatsu. Before that happens, he must hack into the computers of the Empire Energy Corp, destroy the Tokyo Rebirth project from the inside, and put into motion the plan that not even Milgram could see through to completion, the Necropolis project. Yeah, we already know about this. That is the mission Pavlov must fulfill as a sole survivor of their group. Pavlov surveys the area. The streets of Tokyo are teeming with the living dead. There's not a living soul to be seen in the hyper-ghetto. Only the dead. A group of freshly reanimated corpses follow Pavlov from behind, turned undead by the Lemur's gas that he himself developed. There's a total of 54 of them. A more than sufficient number. Pavlov takes aim with his laser rifle. His target is the snowbound Nirvana. He's done his homework. He knows that the store is protected by heavy security. In which case, it's best to just bring the whole building down. That's the conclusion Pavlov has arrived at. He cares not if Kansu dies inside. If anything, that would be the preferable outcome. He must, of course, endeavor to limit the damage in order to prevent her brain from getting crushed. But that aside, it's checkmate. Milgram's grave crusade will finally... Who the hell?
邪魔だ。
Pavlov has ordered his undead minions to stay at a distance behind him while he busies himself with the tuning of his laser rifle. Yet one of those corpses has left the group and now clings to his back. Did Pavlov miscalculate something while administering the Lemur's gas? Oh, what the? The moment Pavlov turns around to repel the living dead molesting him, a blade sinks deep into his abdomen. Wow, he's actually saying something. With the blade still buried in his stomach, Pavlov grabs the living dead by his head. It's Gijo Sumihiko, a man he killed years ago at the Tokyo Tower. Pavlov's enormous hands hold Sumihiko in a vice-like grip and begins to apply more and more pressure to his skull. Eventually... There's no way this is enough to kill Pavlov though, right? Sumihiko's skull splits open at the exact same time the blade disembowels Pavlov. Wow. You died a dog's death, Pavlov. Pavlov seems to almost perceive the vaguest hint of a smile in the young Thai instructor's face, as if the man he once killed still retained some of his former emotions. As his life flashes before his eyes, Pavlov feels only regret for not being able to carry on Milgram's legacy. Lost in the snow and ice of Tokyo, his consciousness soon fades into perpetual darkness, never to return. Wow, that was actually anticlimactic.
それではソウン君の新たなる旅立ちを祝いましてちょっと待った
Iria loudly interrupts the sobbing Ryoko.
りょうこダメだよそれじゃ全然喜んでないじゃないだってソウン君
涼子さん
Ryoko's bawling her eyes out like a child. Wait, is that alcohol I smell?
涼子さん乾杯前にもう飲んでますね
Okay, I guess they didn't really want this ending to become too dark. I guess Mitsumi probably survived.
だって寂しいんだもん
That's not what she said, by the way. She said she's lonely.
ソウン君がこの事務所を卒業するなんて私
She buries herself in my chest and keeps on sobbing. I'd like to let her cry her heart out until she calms down, but at the same time...
3.141589726934827971009286940628608986.
You good, Tokitaka? I was gonna say, does the number repeat at some point? But no, it actually just goes on and on. I was trying to find if there was any, like, similar numbers, but nope. Tokitaka's staring at us with a murderous gaze while reciting the digits of pi. So I should probably attempt to rectify the situation. How? I don't know.
おいこら客人いつまで待たせんだ
Captain Nagisa lifts her glass in a toast, saving me from Tokitaka's potential wrath.
ほらさっさとやっちゃうぞ乾杯
Oh, he was angry because Ryoko was hugging us? What the fuck, Tokitaka?
乾杯乾杯
乾杯
Wow, even he is here.
乾杯
I guess he mellowed out after Ethika died. And with that, the party begins. We each start drinking while nibbling on the food and snacks Ryoko prepared for us. Some of the guests present are people I rarely have the opportunity to meet like this. But there's one thing they all have in common. They're comrades who fought side by side to save the city. And so, it takes little to no time for our cramped living room to be filled with laughter and enlivened conversation.
ほらソウン何端っこでぼんやりしてるの今日の主役でしょ主役
I'm not exactly the most sociable person around, to say the least. At occasions like this, I generally prefer to stay quiet and avoid drawing too much attention to myself. Me too, Sona. But it's true that this entire party is being held for my sake. Irya's right. I should say something.
わざわざ来てくれてどうもありがとう。メガフロートから出るの大変だっただろう。
そりゃまあ大変は大変だけどさ、私を助けてくれた王子様の旅立ちだもん。見送らないわけにはいかないでしょ。
You're still gonna say that to my face?
王子様。
そうだよ。キスはしてくれなかったけどね。
Don't worry. I saved your rat for last, Irya.
キス。
What is she talking about?
なんて嘘嘘。もうゾーンは私がいなくても大丈夫。最初に会った時はぼーっとしてて危なっかしいなと思ってたけど。
僕が
Irya was the one who needed someone worrying about her. I haven't forgotten the time she ignored my warnings and ran off into the city on her own.
何か言いたいことでも。
うん、なんでもない。
よろしい。そのくらいは空気読めるようになったってわけだ。
As much as I'd like to say more, it's probably best not to continue this line of conversation. So I promptly changed the topic.
君は忙しい。
もちろん東京リバースプロジェクトには東京都の安定が絶対必要なんだ。今が踏ん張りどころだね。
The recent terrorist attack shook the city to its core. We took down Milgram and Ethica defeated Ikatsu, which helped bring things under control in a speedy fashion. But the damage had already been done. It's going to take a little while until everything's back to normal in Tokyo.
そうだそうだ。
A flushed and clearly intoxicated Captain Nagisa interrupts our conversation.
おいソン、見てろよ。この町の治安は私たちが守る。いいか、分かってんのか？お前がいなくたって東京の町は安泰なんだ。
I mean, I'm still gonna be here, right?
だから心置きなくどっか行っちまえ。
This is probably Captain Nagisa's own way of trying to congratulate me. Copious amounts of alcohol aside, I can tell her words come from the heart.
あ、そうだ。渚隊、君はコンスーを知ってるか？
ああ、ハイパーゲットにいるっていう。
彼女は基本的には重度の魔女だけど、佐渡役もできるから寂しくなったら訪ねるといい。
The hell?
何を言ってる？
君は魔女だってエチカに聞いたけど。
Well, I was gonna say that. Did Etika say that? Now that Etika's not here anymore, I suppose.
変態じゃないとか言いながら興奮して嬉しがってる。嬉しがってなんてない。
She's outright screaming now. Somehow, this feels appropriate for our last conversation. After everything she's put us through, she can handle a little teasing. Let's see who else is here. My gaze eventually settles on Major General Kibanohara. I'm genuinely surprised he agreed to come. His relationship with Etika was rocky to say the least, but he probably wanted to see for himself the agency his daughter had spent so much time at. Around the same time we faced off against Milgram at the old Tokyo detention house, Etika and Major General Kibanohara apparently fought Ikatsu at the Ueno Botanical Garden. After turning his own daughter into a living dead, he was forced to watch her die again. I can't even imagine how he must feel right now. What I do know is that ever since then, he's worked tirelessly to help rebuild the city. He didn't so much as take a day off work.
本当に辞めるつもりか？
I respond to his question with a quick nod.
どこの町にもネクロマンサーの残党はいるし、民間特別静止者追跡者制度は存在する。
僕は新しい生き方をする。そう約束したんです。
There's no hesitation in my answer. The stern and ever unflinching face of Major General Kabanohara mellows into a faint smile. For a brief moment, I see Etika in him.
軍警察のガンシップを用意することもできるが、君なら断るのだろうな。
This still doesn't really tell me if Mitsumi's alive or not, by the way.
はい。向こうに新しい職場まで用意してもらって、これ以上お世話になるわけにはいきません。
そうか。議長三海は死んだ。
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
君は何者にもとらわれず好きなように生きればいい。
はい。
ねえソウン君。
You know, if this world does have necromancy, I wonder if I would have revived someone. Maybe my mom or something. Who knows? Ryoko approaches us to talk to me, but I guess this game is, you know, like the whole point of this game is trying to tell you that the whole reviving someone thing is not really something that you should be doing, right? Reviving the dead shouldn't be something that you should do. It's not like they're gonna be still human. It's like more for self-gratification. It's more for yourself. It's like for selfish reasons and not for the undead themselves. Her tone is unexpectedly serious. Maybe I wouldn't revive my mom. I feared she might come clinging onto me in another drunken stupor, but it looks like that's not the case.
帰ってきたくなったらいつでも帰っていらっしゃい。唐鼓聖使者追跡事務所はこれからもずっとあなたのホームなんだから。
ありがとうございます。
I express my genuine gratitude. I still have somewhere to come back to, a place to call home. Just knowing that fills my heart with warmth.
時高も。じゃあな。おい、時高。
He's got his back to me, but I can see his shoulders trembling. I slowly walk over to him.
陽子さんをよろしく頼むぞ。
頼まれなくてもよろしくやるさ。
When he turns around, Tokitaka's all smiles. His usual confident grin.
お前もエチカもいなくなったんだ。俺がナンバーワンだ。帰ってくるまで俺一人でちゃんと守ってやるよ。
Man, at least you're happy in this timeline, Tokitaka. In that timeline where Ryoko was dead, Son was dead, and Etika was dead, I feel like this guy was the one that got, you know, the short end of the stick.
今度はヘマをするなよ。
お前こそもう二度と愛する人を死なせるな。
Tokitaka lowers his voice. I give him a solemn nod, followed by a firm handshake. No further words are necessary, not between us. I suppose the saying that time flies when you're having fun does have some truth to it. It's almost time for me to go. Once out of Tokyo, there's only a barren wasteland waiting for me. Nature itself will stand in my way. With the infrastructure of the old world in ruins, even traveling between cities has become quite difficult. In fact, I may end up never seeing Tokyo again. That's how heavy of a decision it is to leave town in 2199. At last, she finally addresses me.
ソウン君、
麻生少佐。
そんな固い呼び名はよして。今日はエチカちゃんの友達ってことで来たんだから。
I guess we're not really that close to you, huh?
はい。麻生さん。
She's probably not aware of it herself, but every time she utters Etika's name, a hint of sadness washes over her face.
なんだろう。ソウン君にはいろいろ聞こうと思ったのに、気持ちって全然言葉にならないね。
そういうものだと思います。 僕と三海の気持ちが通じたのも戦いを通してでした。
あなたらしい。
Major also makes an apologetic smile, sorry. I end up doing the same.
ねえ、ソーンくん。
Toying with the glass in her hand, Major also finally addresses me with a question.
エチカちゃんは幸せだったのかな。
It's a lot easier for us to accept that she was happy. But no one can really answer that except for Etika herself, you know?
阿蘇さん、
I say, looking her straight in the eye.
エチカが後悔なんてすると思いますか？もし万が一この世に未練を残したなら、きっとお化けになって出てきますよ。
確かにそうね。
Major also makes a warm smile. Time can heal all wounds, even those of the heart. It also makes you forget stuff, though. I don't necessarily think that time heals wounds, more so that we forget they even exist to begin with. The thing is, I've actually been contemplating this a lot throughout the whole week. But I've changed, right, throughout the years. What changed? My way of thinking and my emotions, I think. Like, I was thinking along the lines of memories, right? Memories never change. What happened in the past stays as fact, right? But how we see those memories change over time. And sometimes I'm actually afraid of not remembering the feelings that I once had, you know? And indeed, even a lie may one day become the truth. The past is a long shadow stretching behind us, and we can never escape it. Only carry it with us toward a brighter future. I climb into the Strider. My things are already packed inside.
みんな、さよなら。
Ryoko says her farewells as Tokitaka looks up at the sky. Captain Nagisa performs a ceremonious salute, while Major Aso waves at me with a gentle smile. Major General Kabanohara offers a silent nod. Iria waves at me with all the energy and enthusiasm she can muster. Sounding the horn of the Strider to mark my departure, I finally drive away from the agency. Only the low hum of the engine keeps me company. I speed through tumultuous streets rife with danger. The familiar scenery of Kabuki-cho gradually fades into the distance. I say my goodbyes to the past and embark on a journey toward the future. Goodbye, everyone. Farewell, Ethika. Anne. After leaving the party, Kiri heads over to the Shinobazu Pond. She looks around the area while holding my X-Brain. Her expression is understandably one of grief and mourning. Oh, I guess this is gonna be just like Soen's, X-Brain. She's full of regrets. Her call didn't go through when it mattered the most. She couldn't properly say goodbye. I feel the same, honestly. So, why don't I come back from beyond the grave to correct that little mistake? Kiri makes a stunned gasp. The X-Brain she's been holding lights up, and her Conry begins to buzz, almost in sync. You know, the whole thing about the X-Brain being able to, like, at some point replace you or become a second you. Not gonna lie, while it is kinda romantic in a way, it's also giving me the creeps. the fact that objects can also have a soul, right? I don't know about you guys, but thinking about robots in the future being able to have their own, like, personality and stuff, it scares me more than actually make me excited, to be completely honest. She's got mail, and the sender is Kibanohara Ethica, yours truly. Kiri's eyes widen in shock. She looks around, then takes a deep breath. Her lungs fill to the brim with air, and that alone is enough to bring her to the verge of tears. She then gingerly opens the mail. They who share the Lotus Throne share in joy and sorrow alike. A familiar saying, it describes a bond powerful enough to make you want to share the Lotus Throne with that person. A bond that not even death can sever. It used to be a favorite of Kiri's mom. I think it perfectly encapsulates our relationship as well. I have no body anymore, and as such, no ashes either. The puddle of liquefied flesh that used to be Ethica is gone, having seeped into the earth in almost the blink of an eye. But that doesn't mean I've completely vanished. I've just returned to nature is all. I guess this game also has the belief of either Shinto or Buddhism, right? Where if people die, their souls don't really disappear or go to heaven or hell, right? They basically go back to the earth or something. I guess this is more Shinto than Buddhism, because Buddhism follows more about reincarnation and stuff like that. Though if people do get enlightened, they don't really suffer reincarnation anymore. But yeah, I used to be Buddhist, and reincarnation is actually a cycle of suffering in Buddhism. When you do get enlightened, you don't reincarnate anymore. And that's when you reach true enlightenment or nirvana. I'll soak into the earth and become one with the Shinobazu Pawn. The cycle of life. I'm atheist now, by the way, so I don't truly believe in, like, God and any spiritual stuff in any capacity. Though I guess I'm more of a, what do you call it? I forgot the term. But people that believe in a higher being that created us, but not necessarily God. Agnostic, I think. I'll be absorbed into the roots of one of the lotus flowers and help it bloom. I'll become the scent you so adore. So this isn't goodbye. We can meet anytime we want. I'll always be with you, Kiri. Whenever you feel happy or lonely, or if you simply want to meet me, I'll come back from beyond the grave, just for you. So there's no reason to be sad. Really. Look at me getting all sentimental. But I guess that's to be expected, considering what I am now. I guess rather than this thing being like a second, like, Ethica, it's more like a more scientific soul, I guess, right? Flashing a bitter smile, I return to the digital world I came from. Because basically, this is Ethica digitized, right? Just like what they said there. I became a living dead. I lost my emotions and died once more. However, my mind had been expanded. The X-Brain in Kiri's hands connected the remaining fragments of my emotions to the mesh network. And that's where I met her. She whose song has managed to move the hearts of so many. As I'm still not used to how this world works, the one who sent that mail to Kiri in my stead was also her. I guess this game doesn't, or this route doesn't really talk much about Sepcon. So that's why they're being very vague about who this her is. Having said that, I can't make out much more than a blurry outline of her myself. The one thing I do know, however, is that in the physical world, she's what they call Sepcon. Okay, I guess they do. Eventually, my consciousness leaves the X-Brain. and returns to the digital information network. The mesh network that which links people's lives. I can hear a song. It's one I haven't heard in a while actually. But I know it'll be the perfect tune to celebrate the first step of their journey. And so, as I drift through that endless network of data, I allowed the gentle tone of her song to envelop me. You can stop being cryptic, Ethica. Who the heck is there? I make a stop at the Hyper Ghetto. A lone figure waits for me in front of the Snowbound Nirvana. It's not Konsu. Now wanting to venture outside her store, she informed me via Conry that she wouldn't be able to see me off in person. The quick curt "see you later" she ultimately sent me is precisely the kind of parting message I would expect from her. The bottom line is that the person waiting for me here is definitely not her.
待たせたな。
What, did she forget her memory or something? It's someone who is supposed to be dead. Gijo meets me. She's been receiving medical treatment here in the basement. My Strider's packed full of luggage, but I made space for her in the passenger seat. Could they have figured out what I had planned because of that? Tokitaka's last remark was suspicious in retrospect. Okay, maybe she's not dead. Why does she want to hide the fact that she's alive though?
どうしたん、ソウン。
いや、
That day, the gravely wounded Mitsumi was carried off to the military police's hospital in an Empire Energy Corp gunship. Receiving immediate surgery, she had the 3 bullets embedded in her body removed, and was also supplied with spare organs to help her recover. Still, I can't help but recall what happened to Ethica.
なんだなんだ。
Mitsumi gives me a fiery glare.
私の体が死人に見えるか。
いや、そういうわけじゃなく。
私がその死んでいるか確かめたいなら確かめてもいいんだぞ。
いや、十分だ。
Oh, sorry about that, Sona. With her cheeks beat red, Mitsumi draws closer to me. As her chest presses against mine, I can feel my heart rate skyrocket. People are generally unable to feel sexual attraction toward the living dead. So I'm confident that Mitsumi is still very much alive. Kibanohara, Kokuyasu, and Kansu are the only 2 that know of her survival. Even these days, necromancers still possess their own information network. Milgram's demise didn't dissuade the suicide wannabes from their cause. If anything, his martyr-like death served only to further fan the flames of their blind devotion to the Grave Crusade. As such, it would make perfect sense for them to target Gijo Mitsumi, the person who killed their prophet. Okay. Which is why she chose to keep her survival a secret. There might have been more to it though. Maybe she wanted to put her old life behind her once and for all.
この町でやり直すつもりは本当にない。
兄と過ごした記憶が多すぎるんだ。
Mitsumi gazes far into the distance as she speaks.
わがままに付き合わせてしまってすまない。
僕は三海のわがままを受け止められる男でありたい。
バカを言うな。
本気だよ。
Man, seeing Son go completely 180 in this route really still kinda makes me weirded out though. If there's no place for her to call home, I'll become the cornerstone she needs. It's as simple as that.
それに悲しむことなんてない。僕たちは生きてる。
Because I actually feel kinda... What is it? Feel like a bit connected to Son to some degree. Like his personality somewhat. I'm not as robotic as Son, of course, but when it comes to the concept of love, I feel like I'm one of those people that definitely cannot really understand love, even though I know the basic theory of it. People are connected in more ways than one. Through space, time, language, and even networks. There are plenty of ways to meet someone, as long as you're still alive. So we'll do our best to live our lives to their fullest. I'm trying to do that too, Son. I don't want any reunions waiting further down the line to be clouded by frowns. Huh. I sounded almost like Etika for a second there.
どうしたソウン。
何が？
笑っていたぞ。
そうか。
I finally noticed it myself. Seeing me smile, Mitsumi's lips have curled upward as well.
笑ってさよならだ。
あ
We drive our strider westward. We're heading for Osaka, one of the few remaining Japanese cities still clinging to life in this ice age we now live in. In its harbor, which is set to rival Tokyo's in size, there's apparently a colossal megafloat being constructed as we speak, or so the rumor goes. I'm sure it's going to be just as lively as a city as Tokyo is.
どんなところかな。あれ？
I notice that Mitsumi's no longer in her seat. She's opened the hatch and climbed outside. I activate the autopilot and follow her.
みつみ。
ん？
それは。
ああ、そうだ。
Mitsumi's clutching a handful of hair, letting it gently flutter in the wind. It belonged to Gijo Sumihiko, her undead brother, who mysteriously vanished shortly before we departed for our final battle with Milgram. Mitsumi found him in the hyper ghetto, lying motionless atop the corpse of a necromancer in front of the Snoba Nirvana. And so, she cut off some hair from his heavily decomposed body to keep as a memento of sorts. However,
さらばだ。
whispering that single word, Mitsumi opens her hand. The wintry breeze snatches up Sumihiko's hair, scattering it across the snow-laden landscape. His locks soon disappear from view. Sent off by a lone, frozen tear rolling down Mitsumi's cheeks. Cradled by the icy winds, Mitsumi gently clasps my hand in hers. I return her grip with a reassuring squeeze. Our vehicle rolls onward, leaving Tokyo behind. We leave the hyperghetto in its scarce few pipes, heading for the permafrost and its ever-enduring snowfall. Memories come flooding back into my mind. My heart aches, and my smile wanes a little. But it's not enough to stop us. We'll keep pressing onward. Hesitation is the cost of hope. Uneasiness is the price we pay for the future. Yet even still, we have a goal we must aim for. A reason that makes us want to brave this journey together. And so,
これは
what suddenly bursts forth from the speakers is her song. A song of hope. A song of the future.
選別かな。
Aren't you a romantic now, Soon? We'll start our lives anew. And live not for the past, but for the future. Not for the dead, but the living. A brand new chapter awaits us. You know, my friend said that this was actually the least, or the route that he least liked. To me, I still like it actually. It had a lot of, like, philosophical questions in the route that makes me think about also, like, my own life, right? And it was actually pretty eye-opening about how little I actually think about how I've been living for the past couple of years or so. And that's actually pretty nice to me. What I do dislike about the route, though, is how inorganic the relationship that Son and Mitsumi had. Other than the battlefield, they don't really have that much of a, you know, like, connection. Though then again, I'm one of those people that don't really understand romance or have actually experienced romance. So it might be as simple as that to some people to, you know, love someone. I don't know though. Like I said, I've never really experienced it myself. But it just feels inorganic to me as someone who mostly rely on logic for the most part. And Son is also someone who relies on logic, right? In the case of Iria, it makes more sense because she was doing most of the talking and even trying to lead around Son with her emotions, right? But in Mitsumi's case, like I said, it just makes a lot less sense that this route would happen, even though what happened in the route itself is pretty good. So, don't get me wrong, the route is still good, it's just that it felt inorganic the way it transpired. But yeah, I guess that's another route down the drain. And with this, I think we just need to do areas and we are gonna be done with Tokyo Necro. Sorry for the 3 weeks delay, but hopefully I am back to how I was. I think I'm pretty happy with how this episode turned out. I felt like I wasn't rushing. I felt like I was giving most of my thoughts and they were coming across pretty well, pretty clear. And yeah, overall, this is just the type of stuff that I enjoy, you know? Not rushing through a story just because I like the story. Though I do like that, I don't want to do that in a Let's Play, right? If that makes sense. But yeah, I guess that is Mitsumi's route. We still have Iria's route, and I believe that is the last route. Unless there's like a route where, you know, you get an epilogue for doing everything. Like in Rance 9. But I guess we'll see if this game has it or not. Or what the hell is going on? I don't think that happened before, did it? Maybe it did. It did. I'm actually not sure. Sentaku is like your choice. What is your choice? Is what she's saying. But yeah, I believe I said this before, but stuff in the title screen does change after every route, I believe, right? Now it's kind of giving me, or it's outlining more of like some sort of character, right? Before, there were only lines in the fog, and now the cube shapes are a lot more apparent. It's like the colors there, right? It wasn't purple before, I believe. But alright, enough of me rambling, like I said. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon. Sorry for you guys on Patreon that I haven't really been doing much throughout the whole month. But I will be doing an episode every weekday. I think it's a good idea for me to do that. Unless it's like a new game or something that I'm super excited for. And even then, I feel like when I was doing Rants 9 and doing those long, like, recording sessions, I was also not very happy with the way some of the videos turned out because I was rushing them. I was really excited playing it, don't get me wrong, but like I said, as a Let's Player, I want to give you guys the full experience, right? And I also felt like I was rushing Rants 9, which I feel like I was pretty sad about that, even though at the very end I still really enjoyed it. But hope you guys understand, and I apologize once again. But if you guys still want to pledge to the Patreon, do pledge. It's gonna be like a daily upload now after this is done. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.